Hey, welcome again, everybody, to my little corner of the world, Electric Avenue, here in Pennsylvania suburbs of Philadelphia, Westchester. Just wanting to say a big thank you to all of you that came out and supported us for Black Friday Record Store Day and all of the Record Store Day drops this year. It was a way of dealing with a specific issue that actually really helped give us sort of a monthly cash infusion when we really needed it. And it will probably be the thing that carries us over into 2021. So I say a major thank you to you. Thank you to my volunteers that helped facilitate our virtual curbside version of this. We couldn't have done it without you. You guys were integral to the whole thing, and as far as I know, we kept everybody safe and healthy. That was the main goal here. I really didn't want hundreds of people parading through the store as much as my heart says yes. My mind says no. Not a good thing. So maybe in the future, y'all can be healthy enough to come back for it again. Um, all of the events were, the first one was probably the biggest because I think people were pretty starved for product back in August, and then the next three were all about the same. So they were successful, and really, like this last one, there was only one sort of negative thing. I mean, you're going to take the good and you take the bad. And when you schedule like a virtual event and you have times that people are assigned, we've had things where people didn't show up or that kind of thing. But usually later in the morning, like they thought, oh, it's a late time, I'm not going to get anything. Well, if you'd come and stood in a line for 2 or 3 hours, it would have been the same thing, and you would have been more upset because you'd stood there for all that time instead of just being able to drive up. But we did have one person who had six things on their wish list, and they pulled up, and then when we said, well, we have four of them, they said, oh, I only want the two that you don't have, so I'm just going to leave. That to me was like, I take that kind of thing very personally. Just, at least buy one thing just to say I support you and the store, because, I mean, I'm not a mind reader, and I do the best I can to get all the product that makes our customer base and viewers happy. So, um, what can I say? I'm not gonna like hold that as like a forever thing, but one negative mark over like a overall very positive thing. So I suppose some of you have already seen that next year, usually Black Friday or Record Store Day would happen in April, and it has been bumped to June 12th internationally. Um, because we're still dealing with COVID. If you remember in this past year, it was originally bumped to June 20th, and that didn't happen, and then we ended up with the three drops. So I suppose that this is like the first plan, and then if it ends up being three drops later, then they sort of know what they're dealing with because they've already done it. Interesting time for records because people are hanging on to more of them, so we're not getting as many things to sell that are used, and also new records, we're having a tougher time getting some of those because someone at the end of the production line has a sniffle and everyone goes home from the manufacturing plant for a week to self quarantine, and so sometimes there's delays and things. And there's one box set in particular, a CD one, that I know a lot of people have been waiting for about 6 or 7 weeks now since it was released, that we've never even seen. So, and you know what it is if you know what you're waiting for. So it's a strange time. Just like the Gorillaz song says, if you know the song with Robert Smith on it, strange times, baby. All right, so on to some new releases, and really looking forward to 2021. I think it's going to be, whatever happens, at least we know a little bit more how to deal with it somewhat, and we're not really thrown into the deep end like we were this year. A couple things here at the beginning. I'm going to start with some jazz stuff. There was this Dizzy Gillespie Charlie Parker release that came out for Record Store Day back in, it was either August or September. And they've done a regular yellow vinyl pressing of that. So if you missed it, That's out. There's also Blue Note has been doing tons of these like great Tone Poet records. The Tone Poet series, they're sort of high quality pressings of classic records that you don't see all the time. So there's Art Blakey's Roots and Herbs, which I may have shown before. It's a nice gatefold edition. And if you go on Blue Note's website and just Google Blue Note Tone Poet series, and there's a whole list of a ton of records that they've released in the last couple years. Some of them may be out of print already, but they're definitely worth checking out. And then because Blue Note did that, they did a 75th anniversary, an 80th anniversary series, and they're sort of continuing the 80th by doing audiophile vinyl reissues on 180 gram of some of their most, I guess, their most prized recordings. So we're getting the real McCoy by McCoy Tyner and Lee Morgan's Sidewinder. Those are the first couple in the series. On to other things. New Billy Joe Armstrong. If you're a Green Day fan, it's on blue vinyl. I can't remember if I've shown this or not, but it's his cover songs that he was doing during lockdown. So I Think We're Alone Now, Manic Monday, You Can't Put Your Arms Around a Memory, Kids in America, A New England, Police on My Back, stuff like that. And then there's the new War on Drugs record, Live Drugs. Really great live record, and really great local Philly band. Check that out. Check out their studio records too, they're fantastic. And then finally on vinyl, the new Fish Sigma Oasis, oddly still not released on CD. So we're going for the vinyl first, alright? And, well, this came out streaming, I think, back in April, in the middle of the first lockdown. So it only took, 8 months to get it out on vinyl, 7 months, whatever. Alright, so there's a bunch of live stuff that has been out on CD before, but it's coming out on vinyl. So Marvin Gaye live at Montreux, 1980. Bad Company live at Wembley. Nice picture of Paul Rogers there. Blondie live. I would do a little more research to see when these were actually recorded. I think this is like a 90s recording, so you're getting things like Maria even mixed in with Heart of Glass. Let's see, there's ZZ Top, live 1980. So pre-Eliminator. It's got cheap sunglasses and tush. Let's see, Tori Amos, live at Montreux, 91, 92. So these were all from this same series. This is sort of early for her too. It's a lot of Little Earthquake songs. Sometimes they're songs that are duplicated, but they're great performances. Etta James has a live Montreux also. 75 and 93. 75 to 93, so there's different recordings from different eras. And a different series here, it's not really a series, is Stevie Nicks live from her 24 Karat Gold tour, which was the one a couple years ago, that was kind of classic recordings that were maybe cast-offs. Okay, then we've got a new Rory Gallagher best of. It's a best of, so if you have a lot of his albums already, it might not be of interest, but it's still a nice collection. And then just to show this, so Cat Stevens, aka Yusuf, did a Tea for the Tillerman 2, and basically what he did was he re-recorded the album. It says a newly reimagined version. So to go along with that, they finally are reissuing the actual Tea for the Tillerman. This is, I guess I would call it a sort of high quality vinyl pressing, new remastered at Abbey Road. The only thing is it ain't cheap. I don't know why they're so expensive. Same thing with Monobone Jacone. I think I said that right. Another classic Cat album. From Deaf Heaven, this one's called 10 Years Gone. And I'm not really 100% sure. I think this is a live record, but don't quote me on that. But it is new Deaf Heaven if you've been waiting for stuff. Lee Fields, songs from the vault, really, unreleased stuff. This guy's great, and when Charles Bradley died, it seemed like there was sort of a vacuum on older soul men worth listening to. He's definitely one. Don Bryant's another. Check out some of those people, or go back and listen to old Charles Bradley that you have not. Arctic Monkeys live, Royal Albert Hall. This is the 2 LP clear indie vinyl edition. So that may be of interest to some people. How about XTC's Drums and Wires? XTC, they've been pretty active reissuing a lot of their stuff. The last one was None Such, which is a great 90s album of theirs. This is an early classic with Making Plans for Nigel is the song that most people remember. It also comes with a bonus 7-inch featuring Limelight and Chain of Command, and those are limited. They will not be available after Christmas, supposedly. Margo Price, her second record this year. This is a live one at the Ryman Theater. The first one was a studio record that Sturgill Simpson produced. So this one's called Perfectly Imperfect on Red Splatter vinyl, limited edition. And then White Stripes, Greatest Hits, because this is the time of the year when greatest hits and live records, that seems to be what it's all about. So this has quite a few songs, probably most of the songs that you would want to hear. Ends with Seven Nation Army, has Jolene, My Doorbell, obviously Fell in Love with a Girl, Hardest Button to Button, stuff like that. And lastly, little Coldplay Christmas Lights single. I think this is like on blue vinyl. And it's never been on vinyl before, even though they did this song 10 years ago. Has it been that long? And the B-side is a live version of Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas. So that's what we have for this week. Next week is, I want to say, it was supposed to be the McCartney, but it's Sturgill Simpson is probably the big release next week with his Bluegrass album. And the following week is Paul McCartney, which was pushed back to the 18th for production reasons. Was supposed to be 11th, so mark that on your calendar if you don't know. All right, so I think that pretty much covers all the main stuff. Hope y'all had a wonderful Thanksgiving. Most probably had turkey and stuffing. Mine was a sort of a seafood extravaganza, so a little bit unique. But anyway, I'm looking forward to Christmas and sort of wrapping up this year. And hopefully I can go into hibernation in January, or at least maybe we can avoid a lockdown. That would be nice. But it's things are getting tough out there in certain parts of the country especially. So be safe, wear your mask. Oh gosh, I'm preaching now, but until we get this thing under control, and until people get on board with one sort of like way of trying to control it, it's just going to keep going on. So I don't know why people, I'm not even going to get into it. Anyway, thank you so much. You guys have been great. I love all our supporters. It's a very touching and heartwarming thing. So have a great day. Have a great weekend. Catch you next time. Peace.